What's happening, world? B Marsh Boxing back at it with another boxing video. So we got this fight coming up tomorrow night, Saturday, August 21st, between Manny Pacquiao and Yordenis Ugas. Just finished watching the weigh-in, and Manny Pacquiao comes in at 146 pounds, while Yordenis Ugas from Cuba comes in at 147. So the man Manny Pacquiao, he's a smaller guy. He comes in 1 pound below the weight limit. Yordenis Ugas comes right on point at 147. So both guys make weight. And in the other welterweight fight that they have on the undercard, between two old veterans from two guys who have challenged for the world title at 147. Even Victor Ortiz was the champion at 147. Well, these two veterans are meeting in the ring this coming weekend on the undercard, and this is a very good fight. I like the fight. Two old guys, you know what I mean? We'd love to see what they still both have left in the tank, you know what I'm saying? Basically a crossroads fight. So the Ghost, Robert Guerrero, comes in at 146 pounds, just like Manny Pacquiao did. And Vicious Victor Ortiz, the Southpaw, comes in at 148. So I don't know what the weight they was contractually obligated to, whether it was 147 or was the weight limit 148, because they ain't say nothing about Victor Ortiz not making weight. So I believe it's probably 148. You know what I'm saying? So looking forward to the fight. Now, Yordenis Ugas is the one who is, I guess, the champion. Hasn't defended the belt. He was given the belt because Manny Pacquiao was a little inactive, hadn't fought in. He's going when he comes into the ring tomorrow. It's going to be over 2 years since the man Manny Pacquiao fought. Will he have some rust in him? Yordenis Ugas hasn't been in the ring since last year, 2020, I believe, like September. You know what I mean? So he's just a little, probably just a little less than a year since he's been in the ring. Yeah, I mean, so both guys have been inactive. Manny Pacquiao more so. Yeah, I mean, the man, I believe, Yordenis Ugas, as a matter of fact, he fought on the undercard of Pacquiao's last fight versus what's his name? When Pacquiao fought Keith Thurman, Yordenis Ugas mollywopped and beat the shit out of Omar Figueroa. I distinctively remember that fight because I thought Figueroa would have won the fight. I was surprised, how Yordenis Ugas just manhandled him. You know what I mean? And the man hasn't been right since. Omar Figueroa hasn't been right since. You know what I mean? So this might be a difficult fight for Pacquiao. You know what I mean? Now I know Yordenis Ugas, he has a few losses on his resume. I'm not even sure to which guys except Sean Porter. I believe he has 4 losses on his resume, maybe 3. And one of the losses was to Sean Porter, fight that I thought Yordenis Ugas won. I thought he won that fight. I thought he outboxed Sean Porter, kept him at the end of his jab, and let his hand go in combinations. When he did let his hands go. So I thought he won that fight. And I ain't the only one. A lot of people thought. I watched that fight the night it happened. Mike 104, what the deal, my G? What's going on, man? Mike 104 says, Ugas is 35. I didn't realize he was that old. Yeah, man, this guy's been, he was in the Olympics, 2008. Got himself a bronze medal. You know what I mean? I remember him in the 2008 Olympics. So, and, the thing is, like I said, I haven't seen them losses besides the Sean Porter fight. You know what I mean? I seen him beat guys like Jamal James, Delorme, Thomas Delorme. That was a good fight. That was on the undercard of Floyd Mayweather versus what's that guy's name? Conor McGregor. Yep. And yeah, Delorme, he even dropped Ugas in that fight. You know what I mean? So Manny Pacquiao, man, he got the power. I definitely think he's gonna win the fight, but I don't believe this is. I believe this might be like a high risk, low reward type of fight. I don't know what he's getting paid. I don't know if Pacquiao gonna get the same payday as he would have if he fought Errol Spence. And you Dennis Ugas, you already know he's definitely probably more than likely he's getting a career high payday. He should be. And I believe he is. I'm not sure what it is. I might have to make a video on the purses. But Dennis Ugas, man, you know, he's a type of fighter, man, who he can box, you know what I mean? But sometimes he does, stick his chin up out there a little too much. And that's why I think Manny Pacquiao could at least get a knockdown or two, possibly a stoppage. But I wouldn't be surprised if Dennis Ugas is on his A game too. You know what I mean? This is a fight of his life. A fight 4 weeks ago, he had no idea he'd be in this mix. Now look at him. 3 weeks in, now he knows he's gonna be fighting Manny Pacquiao. Now imagine if a guy like Yordenis Ugas never defected to the United States and remained in Cuba. He won't be able to get this kind of payday. And I know it's not all about the money and everything, but Yordenis Ugas is living a dream, really and truly. Real talk, you know what I'm saying? If he's a boxer at heart, which I believe he is, this man's living a dream. Here he is with the Manny Pacquiao fight. We watched Landy Lara for years, and he got the Canelo fight. And he was lucky to get that because they was trying to duck that man. And you saw the results of that fight, what happened, how it went down, and you could see why they didn't want that fight. You know what I mean? So Pacquiao, man, got to beware. He got to be aware that Yordenis Ugas is coming to give it all. You know what I mean? And I don't think he's just selling for a payday. If he wins this fight, Yordenis Ugas, this will be the biggest professional win ever by a Cuban. You know what I'm saying? You check it really and truly. You know what I mean? I know this fellas like Jose Napoles, these guys, Kid Galahad, you know what I'm saying? Kid Chocolate. But I don't think they've ever beat a guy like a Manny Pacquiao. Manny Pacquiao is an iconic fighter. You know what I mean? And I'm looking forward to it. I really wanted to see Pacquiao versus Spence. Was anticipating that fight. Unfortunately, Yordenis Ugas is going to be the opponent because the man got a detached retina. That is, Errol Spence got a detached retina. Manny Pacquiao should have some kind of motivation in him because Yordenis Ugas is holding the belt. Manny Pacquiao got stripped of for inactivity, champion in recess. That's what they labeled him. I wonder if he wins this belt, if it counts as another world title win for Manny Pacquiao. We shall see. It will definitely count. It should definitely count as if he does get the dub, beating another current or former world champion. Because that's what Floyd Mayweather loves to claim, his claim to fame. He beat X amount of current or former world champions. I believe Manny Pacquiao second behind him, if he's not past him. I'm not sure. I gotta look that up. But it's gonna be a good fight. We shall see. JD80 says Pac-Man gonna utilize that left hand like always. Absolutely, it's gonna have to. Bob and weave style. Keep his right foot on the outside, or just basically, or jumping in and out. Bob and weave style. Fake to the right. Got his opponent leaning right, and boom, straight left. That's how Manny Pacquiao do. You know what I mean? He's not really a body puncher. He's a headhunter. But he does go to the body. You know what I'm saying? But Manny Pacquiao don't be really getting knockouts or stoppages with body shots. Although he ripped a man, Keith Thurman, to the body shot. But, with a body shot in that 10th round. But, we got to take that with a grain of salt. Beautiful left hook to the rib cage. Absolutely. But if you know Thurman like I know Thurman, he can't take a body shot. Luis Collazo had him running around the ring, but not as much like Pacquiao had him running around. But it's going to be an interesting fight. You know what I mean? Styles make fights. You know what I mean? Yordenis Ugas, the boxer puncher, versus Manny Pacquiao, a boxer puncher as well. You know what I mean? We shall see. Uh, JD80, oh, I read that already. JD80 says Canelo doesn't do well against boxing technicians. For example, Landy Lara, Miguel Vasquez. Yes, indeed. Floyd Mayweather. These guys outboxed him. Kovalev was outboxing Canelo up until he got stopped. But Kovalev was fighting like a pussy. Yeah, he was outboxing him from the outside, beating him with basically just a jab. But I know Kovalev to be a knockout artist, a KO artist, a man who's killed somebody in the ring. You would have thought he's the one who moved up 2 weight classes, the way he was fighting the man Canelo, because Canelo was stalking on the front foot, keeping the man, what's his name, Kovalev, pedaling backwards, pumping that jab, occasionally throwing a right hand, but not with much conviction. Yeah, so I agree with you on that, JD80. Yes, indeed. So yeah, man, we shall see, man. Looking forward to both fights. Welterweight fights on the card. Manny Pacquiao versus Ugas. And the fight that might steal the show. Let me get my prediction on that too in my breakdown. Robert the Ghost Guerrero. Former 2 different weight class champion, 130, 135 with the IBF strap. Was an interim champion at 147. He's pretty accomplished, you know what I mean? A guy who jumped up 2 weight classes to fight the man Andre Berto, and you saw what he did to him. 2012, maybe 2011. Um, Victor Vicious Ortiz, he also beat Andre Berto. So these 2 guys were the 2 guys, as a matter of fact, who stopped Andre Berto from getting a Floyd Mayweather fight back when. When people wanted to see Andre Berto versus Floyd, he messed that money up when he lost first to Robert the Ghost Guerrero, and then he lost to the man Vicious Victor Ortiz. Now, I think if the man Robert Guerrero could take it back to his 130 junior lightweight and lightweight days when he was a pure boxer from the southpaw, you know what I mean? A very good technician, a guy who can box and, keeps fellas at the end of the jab, throws that beautiful left hand. If he can go back to that guy, he will beat Victor Ortiz. But, the man, the Ghost Guerrero, when he came up to 147, he became a brawler, come forward pressure fighter. And sure enough, that style worked for him immediately when he came up. And he beat Andre Berto like that. And beat the shit out of him, dogs. Like, them fellas, that wasn't no boxing. Maybe Andre Berto thought it was going to be a boxing match. Robert the Ghost Guerrero came on some, thug it out and just beat the shit out of you on some fighting in the streets. And that style worked for him in that fight. But it didn't work for him necessarily in other fights. He tried to be the aggressor and the come forward fighter versus Floyd, and Floyd schooled the shit out of him. And I knew that would happen. I think he was a little overwhelmed by him fighting Floyd, and he just had nothing for him. What was the other fight? He had beat a dude, um, that Turkish dude, Selçuk Aydin, and other guys. But when he fought that camera guy, Was it Kamagai? I think dude named Kamagai, Japanese. And Robert Guerrero aged in that fight overnight. Robert Guerrero aged like 5 years in that fight. He was never the same after that fight. Yeah, I mean, a guy who I don't know why the hell he decided to box him, like fight him like that on a slugfest with this. Can't be slugging with the Japanese, man. These Japanese fellas, they have a different kind of threshold for pain. Yeah, I mean, these Japanese fighters love to go toe to toe. They can box and all that, sure, but they love to go toe to toe and give the crowd a fight, and they gonna go fight to the death. And that's the type of fight Kamagai and Robert Guerrero were involved in. And like I said, man, he aged. He aged in that fight in one night, overnight. Like, he aged like 5 years. And you see, the Ghost was never the same. The Ghost fought fellas like Keith Thurman, was getting outboxed. But then the Ghost turned it up like, I don't know, like round 8. He won like round 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. He won like the last 4 or 5 rounds. I wish he had put the pressure on him. The way he put pressure on Thurman in the later rounds, he should have done that earlier. The same thing when he fought Danny Garcia, you know what I mean? He started off a little too late. So as he moved up, that boxing shit he used to do at 130, 135, when fellas like Juan Manuel Marquez was ducking him. Yeah, I said it. Go check out my video, Fights We Didn't Get to See. The man, Juan Manuel Marquez, was ducking his WBO mandatory. You know what I mean? At 135 pounds. You check it. That's why them fellas went up to 147. The Ghost Guerrero. He couldn't wait for this guy. Keep on ducking him. And he did eventually get a strap at 135. But he moved up for greener pastures. The money weight was 147. That would have been a difficult fight at that time for Juan Manuel Marquez, who was older, about 36, versus a young, good boxer, young Mexican-American good boxer, southpaw at that. So the Ghost Guerrero, he moved up in weight, man. Them fellas just had to brawl out and bang it out. He brawl out and bang it out with the man Omar Figueroa, and that shit shocked the shit out of me. How Omar Figueroa beat the shit out of him in like 3 rounds. Had actually retired the Ghost, and the Ghost Guerrero came back to boxing maybe a year or two ago. The Ghost had even lost to some Argentinian dude. I can't even remember the guy's name. I ain't never seen him on my TV screen again. And that was a big, big, big upset. That Argentinian dude beat Robert the Ghost Guerrero. So his best days behind him. But Victor Vicious Ortiz, his best days been behind him. They've been behind him since Luis Collazo beat the shit out of him. And maybe we can actually go back to the Floyd Mayweather fight when he got two-pieced without looking. He ain't been the same since because he fought Collazo, who's not a big puncher. Never has been. And Collazo knocked him out in like 2 rounds, you know what I mean? I ain't see that coming. And that was a big W for the man Collazo. It actually propelled Collazo to fight on the Mayweather Maidana undercard versus Amir Khan. And that's another fight. I was shocked. It's funny, I'm talking about these fights where I was shocked. When I say I'm shocked, I didn't see that coming. That's what I mean. And Luis Collazo fought Amir Khan, and Amir Khan dropped him like 4 times. Collazo was fighting like a dummy anyways, but Victor Vicious Ortiz, I thought he lost to Devin Alexander. I believe that's the last time I seen him on my TV screen. I don't know how they ain't give Devin Alexander that dub. And that was also a crossroads fight. They rewarded Devin Alexander anyways with the fight against Ivan Redkach. And Redkach beat the shit out of the man, Devin. You know what I mean? So Victor Vicious Ortiz best days behind him. I just can't see I don't know. It's it's a 50-50 fight, to be honest. But if the Ghost can go back to his days at 135 and 130, just be a pure boxer. Be a boxer puncher. Let your combinations go. Don't stay there and try to brawl with this guy. Because Victor Ortiz definitely does have more power than the man Robert the Ghost Guerrero. You know what I mean? Victor Ortiz was always a puncher compared to the man, you know, Robert the Ghost Guerrero. And you see that, and the Ghost Guerrero, you never know though. His chin might be gone, and he had an iron cast chin. As far as being a guy who ain't never been knocked out, really. You know what I'm saying? You know, them fellas, Robert the Ghost Guerrero, what happened to him in that fight versus Omar Figueroa, man, was quite shocking. You know what I mean? Figueroa beat the shit out that dude. So, Victor Ortiz, he does have the power, I believe, where he could possibly get a stoppage. In his 32 wins, I believe like 6 losses, about 25 of his 32 dubs are by KO. You know what I mean? Hey, check it. So, he's been quite inactive, though, since that Floyd Mayweather fight. Yeah. I forgot even, what's his name, broke his jaw. What's that guy's name? Josecito Lopez. You know what I'm saying? So maybe the Ghost could make him quit. That's also a tactic. You know what I mean? I believe the Ghost gotta mix it up. Box, apply pressure, and going for the kill when necessary. You know what I mean? But it will be a good fight. Actually, I think that's gonna be the fight of the night. You know what I mean? I'm not too sure who else is on that undercard. Um, Besides Robert the Ghost Guerrero, I think Frank Sanchez is on that undercard, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe not. No, Frank Sanchez was gonna be on. He was gonna be on somebody. I think he was gonna be on. Oh yeah, he was gonna be on Wilder versus Tyson Fury 3 undercard. That fight ain't happened. And you know what? Frank Sanchez was gonna fight F.A. Jagba. That would have been a goddamn good heavyweight fight. You know what I mean? Yes, indeed. Mm. Mike 104 says Hisashi Amagasa fought with 2 broken eye sockets and a broken jaw against Rigo. Japanese dude had dummy heart, 0 quit in him. Yeah, I remember that fight. And that dude dropped Rigo too. He had dropped Rigo in that fight. Yep, I remember that shit. That shit was like on a New Year's in Japan. Yep. So yeah, man. Looking forward to this fight. We shall see, man. We shall see if Manny Pacquiao could get himself his belt back, or we'll see if the man Yordenis Ugas could get the biggest W in Cuban professional boxing history. You know what I mean? We shall see. B March Boxing, big ups to everybody in the chat. Big ups to Mike 104, JD80. Salute to all y'all. And I'll catch you guys on the next one. I'm gone. Peace.